Ever since I was a young boy growing up in New Hampshire, I have been intrigued by rivers. I have great memories of following those childhood streams for hours searching for colorful brook trout, white-tailed deer, and the ever-elusive black bear. I imagined the black bear would always be around the next bend, watching me as I waded through the liquid pathways into the wilderness. 15 years ago, another river caught my attention, the Deerfield River in northwestern Mass. I overheard the old-timers at the fly tying club telling stories of big fish and beautiful scenery. I had to go see it for myself. So I spent the winter of 1996 planning my adventure. And on a cool morning in June of 1997, I took off for a 4-day trip to the fabled Deerfield River. One of the great things about taking a hunting or a fishing trip to some destination that you're really excited about is just getting up early and heading down the highway, you know, getting a good start, getting some coffee, going down 495, and just thinking and anticipating all the great things that are going to happen on the trip ahead of you. It's a wonderful feeling. You're listening to your music and you're planning out your time. And at this point, I have no idea what the Deerfield River is going to be like. It was just some stories I've heard, and I was just really excited to get there and to see what this place was like. And stopped off at Mansfield Donut Shop. Just get on 495 and on my watch and the clock, it's in the car 4:44, all fours. Here we go, Deerfield River. This is a part of the trip here where I'm just about to take a look at the Deerfield River on my left-hand side. So I'm getting close to my destination. I'm trying to figure out from some notes from friends where to go, where to park, which part of the river that I want to fish in first. But I just taking a good look at that river and just, knowing that the challenges that lie ahead and the excitement is, at this point, I'm feeling pretty good. It's a great Thursday morning. I think it's June the 4th or 1997, I think this film was taken. So I was definitely on my way to the Deerfield River for 4 days, three or 4 days, just to learn how to fly fish and try to take some of the big trout that swim in this great river. So I walked down to the river, and it's just absolutely beautiful. The Deerfield River is just, it's a river that comes out of the Fife Brook Dam, and at this point I'm looking at this slow-moving riffles and lots of rocks and green trees, blue sky, beautiful day, and there's only one person down there fishing. And for the first time, I would meet Larry Pringle, who was down there fishing in this hole that's called the Diamond Drill Hole. And there's quite a bit of fish in that spot right there. And I just start talking to Larry, and Larry's telling me that he's been fishing this river for a long time. Many years, and he was down this particular week fishing by himself. Larry rides a motorcycle and just goes from one part of the river to the next, and he'll spend all day on the river, literally sunrise to sunset, and he'll drive his motorcycle back home to wherever he lives, and he'll be back the next morning right at the beginning of the day. As you can see, those caddis flies are hatching, and that's what the trout are really going to love in the next couple days, and I would learn a lot about that, which I didn't know at this point, how to fish for trout using the caddis flies. But Larry's telling me about the fishing expedition that he's been on and the great luck that he's had fishing. But not really in this spot. Larry has been fishing another part of the river where he told me he was catching,
I've heard of the Swift, but I've never fished it,
fish that were up to 22, 23 inches long.
A lot of guys will pass on, like I say, because first you got to go down from the road.
So you do a little bit of a hike, it's a little steep.
Like steep like that.
Yeah.
then you gotta hike down into the river. And a lot of the old timers won't do it.
Oh, I like that stuff.
So that's where fish are.
I'll get down there later with you if you want.
Sometimes you just have to ask the question at the right time. I wasn't sure how Larry was going to respond to that question, but he's telling me of a place on the great Deerfield River, one of the best places to catch trout, maybe in New England. And here's an opportunity for me to see, just maybe, if this stranger will share his fishing hole with me. I wasn't sure how he would react, but I said I'm going to ask anyway. So Larry somehow, for some reason, decides to trust me and to show me one of the best fishing spots that he knows of at this point, and certainly one of the best spots that I've ever fished in my life. He's taken me down the old roads of Charlemont, Massachusetts, out by the Mohawk Trail. And right about now, I feel like I've pretty much just died and gone to heaven because, you know, here it is. I'm off for a few days. It's a beautiful early June morning, and I realize that at this point that I have a guy that knows this river. And whenever you're traveling and you're fishing or hunting, whatever, you need to find someone who knows the area because it saves you so much time. At this point right here, I was an okay fly fisherman. I could, you know, maybe manage to catch a fish or two out of the river, but what I was about to learn in the next 2 or 3 days from fishing with Larry and fishing in the spots here in the Deerfield River was something that would stay with me for the rest of my life and make me a better fly fisherman. So now I can go up to a river and I can feel confident that I can catch the fish, mainly due to this great experience of meeting Larry Pringle and following him to one of the best fishing spots I've ever been to. So after the long motorcycle ride, and then we take a hike about a mile through the woods, then we go through another field, and then we come out at these railroad tracks. And then we see the river on our left.
Where you know where you go down here, you're going to have a good time. And there's fish. You know you're going to get them because a lot of guys don't work it. I did a number on them. I will say I did a number on them this week. That's why I changed up today.
I did a number on them.
Oh, I did. I figured.
How many fish you catch this week?
Just this week.
Down here.
About 40.
Wow. Some good fishing.
Yeah, about 40 fish.
And a nice salmon to boot.
Yeah. He's still in here. I seen him. He wouldn't take again, but he's still here. We should start seeing fish right down here. That's where it starts changing.
Good looking water.
At this point, I'm starting to second guess myself a little bit. You know, here I am in the middle of nowhere, way out in the woods of Western Mass, and I'm following this guy who says he's going to take me to a nice place to fish. But now I'm having second thoughts because Larry looks into the river and actually says that he can see the fish. And I didn't think that was possible, but it is. So I just have to trust that he can see these fish. So we go in there and we get settled in the river, and it's beautiful conditions. You know, the rocks are real slippery in there, so you have to be careful when you're walking around. And Larry's going over to the other side of the river. He's on the other side of me, and he keeps saying he can see fish, but I look in the water and all I see is rocks, lots of slippery rocks.